Welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Jewell, and it is once again time for a market update, this time for the month of May. Let's get to it. So to begin with, we're going to start with days on market. Now, for those of you who may not have watched our videos before, I want to make sure that I clarify all these numbers. These are for Knox County, single family residents, no land included, anything that would skew those numbers. These are just single family residents in Knox County. Days on market, first of all, are simply how many days a home is listed for sale. It goes active, that means the public can actively purchase the home until it goes under contract. How many days? The entire country seems to like the average days on market. But I'm here to tell you, and we've used it in videos for 2 years, it's not a good indicator. So a month or two ago, we started using median days on market. The average number can be skewed. Now, yes, it's a general number, but if you're a buyer in the market, it doesn't really give you a good indicator of what you're going to be facing. So I like median days on market. Median means it's right in the middle. 50% of the homes are above that number, 50% of the homes are below that number. It's not an average. So I'm going to give you both of those numbers, but I want you to have an explanation of what they are and why I think median is a much better indicator. I'm going to explain that as we go through this. So in the month of May, the average days on market, 34.4. If we look at April this same year, it was 42.3. So we saw a drop from April of 42.3 to May of 34.4. Now, that would make you feel like that on average, you've got a home set about a month, right? Well, if we look at the median though, what it tells us is that median number is 12, okay? The median number in April was 13. So that means that 50% of the homes here in Knoxville are going to sell in less than 12 days. So that's more of an indicator because you have these homes on the market here in Knoxville, probably like many parts of the country, especially in areas that are growing and it's got a really, they have an inventory shortage and a vibrant real estate market, that the homes are just overpriced. The condition of the home doesn't match the price. Really rough location as far as non-desirable location. Maybe they back up to a road, but they have things against them that make them less desirable, but their price doesn't match that. And you see a lot of price reductions right now if you're on Realtor or Zillow or Redfin or whatever, and a lot of those are those homes. People are pricing their homes very highly above market. Listing agents are letting them do that because they want the listing, assuming eventually they'll come on down to a more realistic price and they'll still have the listing. And so what happens is it really skews the market because people aren't buying those homes. But if you're looking at a home that's priced properly, basically move-in ready if that's what you're looking for, and it's in a good location, not just in area, but in, within the specific area itself, those homes sell very quickly. Here in West Knoxville, it's not unusual for them to sell the first weekend and definitely the first week. These numbers show that. So if you can get median days on market, that's a better indicator of what you're going to face as a buyer. If you are a seller and you're saying, well, the average days on market is 34.4, and you're using that as an excuse as to why you haven't sold your home just yet, and yeah, we're getting close to the average. What you really should be looking at is the median, and then really taking a serious look at your home and your price and its condition, and are you being realistic? Now, it doesn't mean anything if we take data and just pull it out by itself. We have to look at a pattern. So let's look at year over year. So last May, we were at 30 days on market on average and 7 days on market as a median. 7 to 12 this May in median, and 30 to 34.4 on average. So we've seen a growth in homes sitting on the market slightly longer. That's good for the buyer, right? Last April, we had 9 days and 34.5. So what we saw was in April, we saw it in 24, the same pattern, 34.5 average days to 30, median days 9 to 7. This April, 42.3 down to 34.4 in May, 13 days on median down to 12. So we see seasonality in that. That's what we should expect. It happens almost every year, and we can look at that and go, okay, that's seasonality at play. So we look at the 2 years, we look at the 2 months, and we can tell that yes, we have seen an increase in days on market, which is good for the market. Now let's look at sold to original list price. Sold to original list price is simply you list the home. What percent of that did you eventually sell it for? That number was 97.1% here in May. It was 97.1% in April. It hadn't moved. Year over year, last May May, it was 98.5. There's been a little bit more negotiating power, I guess you could say maybe 1%-ish year over year that the buyers are showing that they're getting. Remember, this is on average, and it's very, very specific to area and how the home was priced, okay? Because you're going to have some homes that have sat on the market a long time that have a lot of movement in them when it comes to sold to original list. Averages, I just don't think are a great indicator, but they are a little bit of a useful tool. Now, let's talk absorption rate. So absorption rate, for those of you who haven't watched our videos before, subscribe below, and so that you can see when we put these out. Every month you get a market update. You get 2 to 3 videos a week, always about Knoxville or about moving in general and helping you relocate, whether it's here or anywhere else, properly or with less stress and make as few mistakes as you can. So the absorption rate is simply, if nobody lists a home starting today, about how many months worth of inventory do we have left before we're out of homes? So in May, that number was 2.6. In April, it was 2.43. Going back to March, it was 2.13. So we've seen a nice steady progression of an increase in absorption rate. That's still a seller's market. We'd love to see 4 months at the absorption rate, especially if you're a buyer. And I think it would be nice for a seller too, because then you can negotiate terms better. Everybody's not in such a stressful situation. You know, you could put your house up for sale. There's a little bit of time while you're looking for a house. It's just a normal market. But we've seen that progression, 2.13, 2.43, 2.60 from March to May of this year. So how does that compare year over year? Is the market really better for the buyer or not here right now? Well, let's look. So last March of 24, absorption rate 1.56. April of 24, 1.61. May of 24, 1.75. If we take those two, we can see that year over year, the absorption rate has increased a little bit, which is good, meaning we have a few more homes on the market, which is great. We can also see that it's a typical pattern from March to May for the absorption rate to grow, okay? So everything there seems to be falling within a typical pattern with a little bit of improvement to absorption rate year over year. So that's all good for the market. Active listings reflect that. Active listings are just how many homes were actively listed for sale at the end of the month. We had 1,586 homes at the end of May this year. We had 1,030 homes at the end of May last year. You can see it's almost a third increase. And there you see the increase in absorption rate. That's where that's coming from, okay? If we move down to new listings, how many people during the month listed their home for sale? New listings during the month. May 25, this past May, 991. In April of 25, 1,039. And March was 924, okay? I'm surprised a little bit that it dropped from April to May in new listings. If we look back at last year, that number increases every month, 798, 887, and 908 of March, April, and May of 24. So to see that drop in May was a little unusual. At the same time, May was also one of the wettest Mays we've had. We had almost 9 inches of rain. It was one of the wettest Mays recorded. I think it's in the top 10 or 12 since they've been keeping records. That can actually affect listings. It can affect the fact that people can't get things done on their home, outside, things that they want to do to get it picture ready and marketed ready. And so we'll see if it was maybe a little bit weather related. It wasn't a huge drop, but it was a little bit of a surprise. Sold listings. How many homes actually sold during the month? In May, we had 650 homes that sold. If we compare that to last May, there were 773 homes sold. Need another month's worth of data to see what that means. Probably slightly reflective of the price is increased here in Knoxville coupled with rates. I think it's also an indicator of less homes that were what I call sellable, meaning that shadow inventory I was talking about. Our absorption rates increased, our listings have increased, but honestly, so have our bad listings have really increased. And so I wonder how many, people we had that just couldn't find homes. I know for us, for me and Sydney, we had 10 people that we found homes for in the month of May. 4 or 5 of those are people we've been looking for and we were able to find homes for, but we also have 4 or 5 people that we're still looking for that we weren't able to find homes for. So it's still not an easy market to find a home. I don't think that's a reflection of less buyers. It was a little bit of a surprise year over year. Now, here's the kicker. What does it mean for pricing, right? So if you're looking to buy a home, where's pricing? If you're looking to sell a home, you're watching this, you're local, where's the pricing? Well, the median sold price, like I said, don't use average sold price. Do not do that. Median sold price, 50% of the homes sold below, 50% above this price here in Knox County was $399,950, okay? We have been above 4, we've been been right at this number back and forth, 402, 398 throughout the last 12 to 14 months. Where was it in April? It's almost exactly the same, within $50, 399,900 in April. Well, how does that compare to year over year? Last May, it was 388,000. What does that represent? That represents about a 3.08% increase in price year over year. Now, if you go back and you watch our year-end video, one of the things that I said in that video is in 2025, we're going to see more of a return. We saw it headed that way last year to normal appreciation rates. For me, normal appreciation rates are 2 to 5%. That's what I think of as a normal market. You can have pockets of 7 and more than that. I get it, but the reality of it is 2 to 5. We're seeing that number now fall directly into that number, and I think that's a really good indicator for the market. It's exactly what I expected it to do. Now, if you are someone who is looking for a home to buy, it is a good time to buy, okay? Because we are seeing a few more homes. Don't delay your dreams hoping to save a few $1,000s because somebody on YouTube or somebody somewhere on TikTok told you that the market's going to crash. We have people who are waiting on the market to crash for the last 4 years. If you figure out what that money, how much money they've lost listening to these idiots, it's sad. So don't do that. If you're looking to sell, I think it's a good time to sell while inventory is still, it is a seller's market. If you have any questions about these numbers, if you're considering a move to Knoxville and you haven't reached out to us, please do so. It's never too early. Schedule a Zoom, reach out to us by email. Let's have a conversation. If you are someone who's just looking to move and maybe not just to Knoxville, go to our channel, look at the playlist. We have a lot of videos on there that are geared to you no matter where you move in the country to help you get through that process. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give us a thumbs up if you did. Leave comments. We love those below. Until next time, guys, I can't wait to see you right here in Knoxville soon.